Hey guys, what's poppin'? Jacques Slade here, back with another unboxing. And today, guys, within this brown box that you see here on the white table is something brand new from the good folks over at Adidas and the good folks over at Finishline. This one was just announced a few days ago, and I happened to get my hands on a pair, and of course, I brought them here on the table to show them to you guys so you guys can get a good look at them. So without further ado, let's hop right into it. So this is one of Adidas's new shoes, and I'll tell you now, before you get excited, before you get into it, it does not have boost. But that is not a negative thing. Not everything needs to have boost. I hope everyone realizes that by now, that before boost came along, Adidas had other technologies that people used and that people liked. And this happens to contain one of those technologies. Now, this is not a basketball shoe, and it's not a lifestyle shoe. It's something that you need in order to get your game right. So, let's take a look. You see it's in the traditional black Adidas box right here. And let's take a look inside. And here we go. This, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't figured it out already, if you haven't figured it out by now, this is the Adidas AlphaBounce Beyond. Now, this is a training shoe, but it's a very special training shoe. It's just not your regular training shoe. Adidas is doing something a little different with this pair, and I like the direction that they're going. So what they wanted to do was create a training shoe for you to wear, but it also had the ability for you to run in the shoe. A lot of the training shoes that you have, they're made for the gym, but they're made specifically for the gym. You can do a little bit of movement here and there in the gym, but you can't really run in the shoe because they're not made for that. They're made for a flat stance, for you to stay on your heels when you're doing deadlifts. But these have a little more versatility. Let's just say that this shoe is a bit more dynamic. It adds a little more flavor to your training process and allows you to do things that you probably shouldn't be doing in your other training shoes. So how did they do that? Let's get into that right now. First off, let's talk about the cushioning. Now, Adidas is going full length in this pair, and they're using bounce. Now, if you are a fan of bounce, you're probably a fan of Dame Lillard, because Dame Lillard uses bounce in his basketball shoe. All things considered, now we get a good idea of why Dame was included in... Try that again. Now we understand why Dame was used in the commercial for these, because he uses bounce in his shoes. And obviously when you play basketball, there is a lot of running involved. So to do a little bit of running to kind of condition yourself for going up and down the court, it all kind of makes sense. So they kept the look of the AlphaBounce. For those that have had a pair of AlphaBounce shoes before, you notice that they have these sort of ridges on the outsole, and Adidas kept those here. They have the heel cup that kind of looks like the heel cup that we see on the Ultra Boost, although it's not as high. The Ultra Boost heel cup kind of goes a little higher. But another tech that stands out to me on these is the upper. They're using a forged mesh, if that makes any sense. Basically, they have the regular mesh here during like the low wear areas of the shoe, but then in the high wear areas of the shoe, say here at the toe or right here at the heel or on the outside, they're using what's called forged mesh. And this reminds me of what I saw on the Crazy Explosive. So if you have those, you know that they have these ridged areas, what they're calling forged mesh, which are add a little bit of reinforcement, add a little bit more of durability, and I think help keep you locked in. There's like a stronger version of the knit or the mesh in this case to kind of stop it from being so elastic, or those areas that don't need to be as elastic. And that's what the point of those are. For those that are concerned about the laces, they just use regular black laces, but they've added some plastic panels here to reinforce the laces so it doesn't rip out. And that's always, anytime you see a shoe with mesh or you see a shoe with knit, they're gonna have those reinforced panels to make sure that it doesn't rip or pull too hard on the knit, because it'll really just rip it, or rip it if it's mesh. You see that there's mesh around the heel as well, giving you some great breathability also here in the toe. Again, this is a training shoe, so you're gonna want that sort of breathability in your shoe. You're not gonna want that irritation. Now, the design on the upper of the shoe is actually very unique. If you can look at it from this view here, Adidas uses this technology called Aramis, where it actually maps the pressure points and the areas of the foot and how the foot moves, almost like a heat map of your foot when it moves and how dynamic it is. Now, on the reverse side, they have the Continental rubber soles. You guys have seen these on the Ultra Boost a lot. It's obviously the top of the line. If it's Continental, you know Continental because they make tires. So for them to make the rubber that goes on the bottom of the shoes is obviously a big deal. So, and it seems like the rubber goes across the entire outsole, which is always nice, especially when it comes to training shoes and shoes that have been used in the gym as well as outside. But then they also have some pads here, and hopefully I can get some of this in the B-roll to show you guys that they have these pads that are lifted just above the bottom of the outsole, and it goes in a very distinct pattern where it goes from like the ball of your foot and then crosses over to the heel of your foot. These actually released already on adidas.com if you wanted to pick up a pair there, but they're going to release globally on the 24th is when everyone will be able to get their hands on a pair. Pricing wise, they're at a really good price point. They're $120, and they all actually look nice. Yes, they are a training shoe. Yes, they're meant for training and running, but they actually look really nice, and I can see people wearing these as just a simple lifestyle shoe. This is just the early colorway, but I'm sure Adidas is going to be releasing a ton of new colorways of this shoe. I'd actually like to see a collab with these and does something that's training focused but also brings some flavor and a lifestyle element to the shoe, because it definitely does look like a training shoe hands down, but I do think there is an opportunity to really show some lifestyle love to this silhouette if the opportunity arises. You hear me over there, folks at Adidas Training? Let's get a nice lifestyle collab on these. Maybe switch up the materials or something. Maybe do some leather or some suede or some maybe even do some prime knit. I don't know. Let me know. Anyway, as always, I am Jacques Slade. Make sure you like, favorite, subscribe, do all of those sorts of things to make sure you don't miss what's coming up, because I have something really cool coming for you guys in the next couple of days. That being said, I appreciate you, and I'll see you soon. Peace.